Alright guys, so today this video is going to be about Dr. Prunell from the game Cry of Fear, and it's basically just going to be about who the doctor was, every time Simon and the doctor had an altercation, or Simon had a memory or a flashback of him, and it's basically just going to be describing who he was and like what he did, at least to my knowledge. But yeah, that's basically just going to be the video today. But today we're going to be joined by Mr. Fugler. Oh, wrong way. Mr. Mr. Fugler. He does that sometimes, so just don't mind it. I don't have a name for him yet. If you guys want to name him, let me know. He's all black. He's got some pretty aesthetic teeth going for him. That too. He's got a button on his butt. So, but yeah, that's just gonna be the video for today. So let's get into it. Also, we're gonna do face cam today. Okay. So let me know what you guys think. If you want me to do face cam, let me know. If not, I'll take it out. I'll probably actually cycle between it. I don't know. But today's face cam, so let's go. Dr. Prunell. Dr. Prunell was the central antagonist in Cry of Fear, and what he did was he represented Simon's psychological struggles and the complexities of his mental health. He played a significant role in Simon's life and in the game because he was basically the only person to actually care for Simon and help him with his depression, PTSD, and anxiety. But before we're introduced to him as Dr. Prunell, we know him by the Doctor because that's how we first discover him, or that's how his name first shows up. And from now I'll just be calling him the Doctor just because that's mainly what we know him by, and that's how the game really just puts his name out there. But we first encounter the Doctor right after the Star boss fight at the bottom of the apartments. What he's wearing is like a white coat that's really long. It like goes all the way down to like his thighs. He's wearing black pants and he's also wearing a gas mask. To why he's wearing a gas mask, I'll get that towards the end of the video. But for now, he basically just tells Simon, quote, I don't want to turn into, not quote, but basically just saying I don't want to turn into one of those things. Him and Simon talk for around like 30 seconds. That's the only question he answers on why he's wearing the gas mask, and he leaves through a door, locks it, and just leaves Simon to fend for himself. Reasonably, Simon is like confused on who he is, why he's there, and just why he's wearing a gas mask. After this though, maybe between around 10 to 20 minutes of gameplay wise, just depends on how you play the game, we meet up with the Doctor again, but this time it's not nearly as innocent as the last time. As the last time. We see this horrific scene of him talking to himself saying, quote, I only wanted to know where the key was, end quote, while cutting off a man's head who was also crucified on a wooden cross. And when Simon sees this, he reasonably asks, like, what the hell are you doing? And when the Doctor notices him, the Doctor gets into a panic. He leaves, and then he locks the door behind him once again, leaving Simon to fend for himself. Although this time, there's this huge, like, big creature that's like that has a mace with spikes, and so Simon has to defeat him. After this fight, though, we don't run into the Doctor again until later into the story. It varies between like. Okay, let me turn this off. My bad, guys. Hold up. Let me turn this off. That's on me. My bad. Hold up. Okay, like I was saying, we don't run into the Doctor again until maybe 30 minutes to an hour and 20 of gameplay after the boss. It just really just depends on like gameplay wise. Like if you're starting new, you're speedrunning probably faster, but it just really depends on how fast you beat it. But when we do run into him, Simon, it's in the train station, and Simon hears a gunshot and then a thud. He sneaks up to the sound only to find the Doctor, a body on the floor, and the Doctor saying to himself, quote, I told you not to come closer, you stupid psycho, end quote. The Doctor ends up walking away from the body while Simon follows him, only to discover he left through a door and locked it behind him once again. Basically, from here on out, Simon's main goal is basically just to find out who the Doctor is and where the Doctor went. After this though, the next time Simon meets the Doctor, it isn't in person, like one-on-one, it's through a flashback he has, where it's the Doctor, his voice, and he seems to be talking to someone or taking personal logs.
Just watching it like it was yesterday. Despite the fact that it causes him tremendous anxiety, he insists on returning. He insists it's for therapeutic reasons, but I remain skeptical. He doesn't respond well to questions about his personal life, and became extremely angry when I mentioned events prior to what he insists on describing as Black Day. His school and home life were no-go topics when discussing these feelings and anxieties. He told me the other day that he had been seeing hallucinations, but couldn't give a clear description of what he'd been seeing. Naturally, I didn't take him seriously. I saw no evidence to suggest this was the case, but upped his prescription anyway. He claims the extra medication helps.
He says, quote, he always goes back to the same place, day after day, watching it like he was yesterday, end quote. Quote, despite the fact that it causes him tremendous anxiety, he insists on returning, end quote. Basically just describing on what Simon told him and how Simon feels. A note that I'd personally like to add is how the doctor brings up how when he would ask questions about Simon's life prior to the Black Day, he wouldn't respond well to them and would basically just wouldn't answer him. Also, the doctor brings up how Simon would mention he'd see hallucinations, though the doctor didn't believe him. He still upped his medication. Now, after this, maybe like 20 minutes later, gameplay-wise, we come across the doctor again, but just like last time, it's not one-on-one contact, but with another flashback. The doctor seems to be talking to a man, presumably Simon's dad. We're never really confirmed about this. It's just, presumed. But they talk about how Simon suffered, quote, severe spinal damage in the accident, end quote. And, quote, from the waist down, however, there is no nervous response at all, end quote. He also tells them about how the accident caused Simon mental trauma and was a deeply disturbed individual who had problems even prior to the incident. Now, after this, Simon gets on a train, but it does end up crashing, which forces him to walk through a dark forest with nothing but a lantern and sticks. Simon, despite only having these items, he does manage to make it through the forest and come across the doctor again, where this time he finally sees him in person walking to a mental hospital. Simon does end up following him to the hospital, where this time we actually meet face to face with him and we end up talking to him. He gives us a task to retrieve a gun for him that's in the bully alley, and when we do give it to him, or if we give it to him, because we're given two options, we can either A, give it to him, or B, not give it to him, which in the short run they have the same outcome, but in the long run they don't. Basically the short outcome is if either A, if you give him the gun, and if you don't give him the gun, you'll still get shot in the shoulder. But what it does change is the gun the doctor uses during the fight and the outcome of the game. If you decide to choose A or B, he'll still shoot you, and Simon has the same dialogue, which he says, quote, "You bastard, I'll kill you," end quote, and makes his way to the roof where him and the doctor have their final altercation. After Simon defeats the doctor, one last flashback plays where it shows the doctor telling Simon to write a book as cognitive therapy because the pills that Simon were giving prescription weren't enough.
Something more than that. I recommend that you try a new modern treatment called cognitive therapy. What's that? Well, it's a set of exercises you do, a way to forget the past, all the bad memories and anxiety you have. Are you interested in books, Evan? I don't know. Why? Alright. I just wanted to find out, because I want you to try out something. I want you to write a book about how you feel. Do you think you can do that? I guess so. I can try.
And at the end of the flashback, Simon kills the doctor by repeatedly stomping on his head until his face is unrecognizable. This is the last time we see the doctor. Okay, I lied. It depends on the ending. If you like, kinda, cause like I'm not gonna spoil the endings, but you see like the doctor in some of the endings, like barely, like barely. But yeah. Okay, so now we're gonna go back to why the doctor wears a gas mask, and it's literally told to us. Like the doctor literally tells Simon in their first altercation at the bottom of the apartments, quote, "Do I look like I want to turn into one of them?" End quote. From this, we can literally see why he wears the gas mask. It's so he doesn't turn into a monster. But personally, I think that it goes deeper. Like, what I'm about to say is my opinion, though. It's just what I think. From the first part is true, because it literally happened. But this second part is just my opinion and my theories and what I think. So, I think that it would make sense that the doctor has a gas mask because it shows immunity. The reason I say this is because the virus that's going around is airborne, and what it does is it attacks depressed people and it turns them into the monsters. So it would make sense that he's wearing a gas mask that signifies immunity because he's literally a therapist. And what do therapists know how to do? They know how to overcome anguish. But again, this is just my opinion. This is just what I think. So it probably isn't true, maybe. But the first part is true. Second part, my opinion. It's just what I think. Okay. But yeah, that's basically the majority of what the doctor is. I didn't go fully into detail. I could. Maybe if you guys want a video, I could do like maybe a whole lore about him. This is just general lore, like what do you need to know about him? Every meetup you have with him, basically just the basics. So yeah, that's Dr. Prunell.